Hi Anti-Society, welcome back to the Anti-Social Planet, and today we're getting into chapters 77 and 78 of Tower of God. So we finally made it to the end of the first season, and every time I think about what happened, I get upset all over again because we had a few things happen. We kind of like left it with a bit of a pin in some of the drama while we were dealing with some of the other stuff, you know, lots of the aftermath of what happened. So we had Rachel and Bomb in the little orb, and Rachel stood up and pushed Bomb out of the bubble, and last we saw he was sinking into the water, and that was it. And then Rachel succeeded with the test and met up with everybody again. Nobody knows exactly what happened, but everyone's assuming that Bomb is dead. That is what they have been told by the rankers. That is what most people are going with. I don't know how much everyone believes that because they've got to be like a little bit suspicious. I feel like some of them might know what's going on, like Kun and Shibitsu had a little bit of a moment where I feel like they know something that's going on. So we'll see how that works out, but have that whole aftermath of people assuming that Bomb is dead, deciding to continue with the test, helping Rachel even though she doesn't deserve it. And then we had her meeting up with the redhead girl whose name is, oh, it's like on the tip of my tongue. I know her name. Hua Hyung? Was that her name? Anyway, redhead girl who had the mask and the leotard back when they were fighting in the bonus challenge thing. She's been a little MIA. And then we saw her pass Evan after he saw Hung Sung, which automatically rose some suspicions about her. And then we saw her meeting up with Rachel, obviously knows more about what's going on than other people do. So we had that moment and then a flashback where we saw that Rachel not only has known where Bomb is for a while, but she actually made it to Heaton's floor before Bomb. And it was just like lurking while Bomb was going through that first test against the eel. Refused to do the test herself, and now she's just seeing what's going on. So that's where we left off, of her just kind of hanging out and watching Bomb risk his life for her, and apparently that didn't have much of an effect on how she felt about him. Yes, I'm still mad about it. I'm still mad. I will continue to be mad about it. So that's where we left off. We're probably going to wrap up that flashback and hopefully see some kind of conclusion of what is going on with Bomb, because they couldn't find him when they were looking around the test area, but he's got to be somewhere because I refuse to lose hope. Not only because he's the protagonist, but also because I love him too much. I'm too attached to accept that he's just gone. We're gonna see what happens. Probably a lot of things are gonna happen because end of season kind of stuff. I know that probably a lot of other stuff will be set up for season 2, but I'm gonna try and not get too caught up in the inevitable cliffhanger that will happen. Let's get into chapter 77. Okay, chapter 77. Let's see what this, I don't know what this is gonna be, but I know it's gonna make me mad. That's all I know for sure. Yes, that was Bomb who was, but now is not. The giant black lightning thing. I remember that because I was very concerned about what that would even mean. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say that Heaton is the one that she's making some kind of deal with, which is why he's always been like, I don't know, giggling in the back, like he knows something that's going on. Yeah, she did. She's upset by the whole fact that probably Bomb is better at this than her. Let's just face it. Even though he's like, I don't know why I'm messing with my mic a lot, I'm fidgety. Even though Bomb's like a cutie pie and not really aggressive, he's at least like confident in what he wants and is always willing to sacrifice and go after it, which is not what Rachel seems to be, where she seems to be at. As much as she talks about how much she wants to see the stars and have freedom, it doesn't seem to be that. She doesn't seem to be willing to like risk her life in the name of that, which is the opposite of what Bomb is willing to do, which I think is like a prerequisite of going through the tower. If you're not willing to risk your life for whatever it is that you're hoping to get out of the tower, I don't think you're gonna last very long, because the tower risks people's lives all the time. I kind of love the switch that we've had, because we've spent like the whole season up to this point thinking Bomb is following Rachel, and that's been the dynamic. And I talked about that a little bit when they were in the bubble. We had like the shift of Bomb like looking down at Rachel and reaching out for her, as opposed to like the flashbacks where we had like Bomb on the ground and then Rachel's reaching out to him. So having that reversal is like continuing into the story, because it's gonna be that Rachel has been following Bomb this whole time. He's been like thinking that he is going after her and figuring out where she is, but in reality she's been following after him. So I like that reversal as well. No one said the tower was fair. You can have whatever dreams and fantasies you want. The tower is not fair. Really isn't. And I've seen only the bare minimum of it. See, we're doing the deflection thing again, where we had that before where Rachel was like, I should at least be given a chance. Like, this isn't fair. You should give me a fighting chance. Like, I shouldn't have to risk my life to get into the tower was basically what she was saying. And now we're having a, well, this isn't fair either because Bomb got help. Like, other people helped him. It's like, well, maybe if you had gone for the test, if you had just decided to participate in the test put before you, then maybe Lady Yuri would have helped you. You don't know because you didn't even try. I don't know if that would happen because Bomb is like special chosen one. With being an irregular and having that potential and stuff. But if you had just tried, maybe you would have got help too. Or if you had asked for help, like Bomb wanted to go with you, wanted to travel with you up the tower. You could have gotten Bomb's help and then Rachel's in return. I mean, and then Lady Yuri's in return. But you chose not to. You wanted to do this by yourself. So you can't then turn around and be angry that you have to do this yourself. You know what I mean? There's a lot of deflection here, and I feel like the issue is with Rachel. Just my opinion. See? Even like Heaton's like, hold up. See? He's like, isn't it important to try at least? She didn't even try. She was like immediately like, this isn't fair and I'm not even gonna try. But Bomb did, and he went with the same like skills and knowledge that Rachel did. He didn't have Lady Yuri helping him. He didn't have the Black March yet. He was just gonna try anyway. And that's why he got help. Ooh, Heaton's definitely playing this up though. Saying like he's special and like a hero in a fairy tale. I feel like that's all, like Rachel wants to be special. So to have someone say that about someone who isn't her, I feel like is going to be the leverage that like Heaton is going for. I think he wants something out of her. I'm assuming it's someone to go after Bomb. Ooh, though you don't deserve to go up the tower. Yeah, that's gonna get her. She's gonna get upset about that and desperate because she wants to go up the tower so badly. Bomb's just special. See, here's the thing too, is like we like to say like everyone is born equal, and you like to think that everyone has like the same kind of privileges by birth, but it's not true. Some people are just better at some things than other people, and it isn't fair. And sometimes we look at other people's natural talent, or you know, not that there's like a ton of work that goes into a lot of it too, but some people are just better at some things. And you can envy that and you can just be vindictive about it, or you can find out what your natural talents are. And like Bomb was just born stronger. He was born with a special kind of ability and power that Rachel does not have, and she can sit there and be angry about it, or she can compensate for it. That's my thought. I don't think she is. I think she's gonna pick vindictive, but you know, you can't help the things that you aren't born with. You know, you can learn, you can practice, you can put in a bunch of work to try and be really good at something, and you can probably surpass people who are born with natural talent who decide not to do anything with it. Like if you're born with a natural talent for like being good at sports, but you never put in the effort to like train and go after different avenues and stuff, you're not going to become a professional athlete, as opposed to someone who's born with no natural talent but puts in the work and, you know, goes through all of the training and decides to go to the tryouts and be on the teams and talk to people who are part of the industry and stuff like that, and they might actually become a professional athlete. Natural talent isn't enough a lot of the time. You have to put in a bunch of work to get somewhere with that talent, but it doesn't change the fact that the person who wasn't born with a natural athletic talent had to put in a lot more work than the person who was born with it. They just didn't take that extra step to actually do anything with it. And I mean, you don't always have to, but then that person who didn't put in the effort to be a professional athlete can't then be angry at not being a professional. You didn't put in the work. You had a head start. So, you know, Bomb's willing to kind of put in some effort to what he's doing. Yeah, there's natural talent, but he's also like trained a bunch, and he's committed and, you know, willing to put his life on the line. I'm just saying, I feel like she's gonna go vindictive route. I don't think it's justified though. Just like a villain origin story. The impact of a child throwing a tantrum, just asking why all the time and being mad and not doing anything about it. Because the thing is, if she was like legitimately asking why and getting like constructive feedback and applying that, sure, ask questions, wonder how someone did something, be curious. But she isn't. She's just being mad. She's asking why into the void, not expecting to get any answers. She just wants to be upset. He didn't take anything from you. You didn't try to go for it. You didn't try. Therefore, you get nothing. I knew this was coming. I'm like, there has to be some kind of deal. Though the little girl though, like the dismissiveness of that, after I was like, this sounds like a child having a tantrum, and then for Heaton to be like calling her directly a little girl, yeah, I'd be like that too. I knew she was gonna do it. It's not gonna be worth it. There's no way that this isn't like almost like a Jin kind of thing where you think that you're making a good deal or a wish or whatever, and it gets twisted all around and it turns out to not be what you want. I feel like it's definitely gonna happen. We literally had all these connections last time with Heaton with like trickster gods and that kind of a thing, and like the stories of him being kind of like a trickster god, like the whole thing of guiding like children into the tower and stuff has like all of the the like implications of like those trickster spirits, like I was saying, like fairies and stuff, where they would like lure people away and be like, there's this wonderful place that you can go in like fairyland or the other world or whatever. Like in Celtic stories, there's like the land of eternal youth and beauty, and there's all these different places where the Sidhe live, but like if you go there you don't get to leave, or there's a high price to it. Like you have eternal youth, but only as long as you're there. And then when you leave, it's been like hundreds of years and your entire life is gone now because everyone you knew is gone and things have changed too much. There's always a price to it. So whatever deal Rachel's about to make, it's not going to be what she wants. It's just going to be what she thinks she wants because Hedon has no reason to actually give her anything. You know what I mean? Like she's still an irregular. Hedon's still going to want her out of the tower. Maybe not to the same extent of Bomb, who has a lot more power, but he's not actually going to help her be a part of the tower. See, and we have this, I was like, that makes me think of Pan. Literally the contrast of having like, I'll make a deal with you and kind of like trickster gods and stuff. Pan isn't quite that much of a trickster god, but it makes me think of those kind of gods. And then having this particular carving again, it's not gonna be what you think. Look at Hung Sung. He knows exactly what's going on. Ooh, why do I feel like that's like a passive aggressive threat? Why do I feel like Hung Sung breaking the little packet is just Hung Sung asserting dominance? Oh, is that where Ghost came from? Ghost is from Hedon? That makes me even more suspicious of Ghost being around. Ghost just seems scary. We're just making coffee? Why do I like the phrase of the taste differs based on how hard you grab it? Which I feel like might be an innuendo, but it's one of those things where like, if you actually try, you might have a different outcome than you might think. Like giving up is still a choice, and like Rachel choosing not to just take the test that Hedon put before her meant that she didn't get help from anyone. She didn't have Bomb show up partway through it and help her get through it, or Lady Yuri jumping in or anything like that. She didn't try, so she doesn't know what would have happened. So having it where it's like the taste of making the coffee changes depending on how you go through the process of making it. And I feel like that's a great kind of analogy of going through the tower, is your experience is kind of what you make of it. And I feel like Rachel is choosing to be bitter instead of like something enjoyable, something that would actually bring her happiness. She's choosing bitter. Also, the you don't need to worry thing makes me worried. Also that I'll steal everything from him. Hung Sung, look, you gave me Chibi Rock, so I want to like you, but you're also scary and scheming and has definitely been doing a bunch of stuff behind closed doors this entire time. Also crushed that one regular, which I feel like we should all remember. These are the people you're making a deal with, Rachel. We're not like reevaluating. It might be too late if she's already made the deal. Is the guy the red-haired girl? Weren't they on the, wasn't that the team? Was Rachel, Ghost, Redhead? Does that mean that Rachel has like 2 people that have already been in the tower for a while on her team and she's still not doing a great job? Ooh, predict and change the future. Hold up. When did that become a thing? When did we predict the future? Which worries me. Hwoarang. That's it. I was close when I tried to remember her name. So does that mean she's like Evan? Is that why Evan recognized her? Because they're both guides? Interesting. I feel like it's cheating though. You have like 2 people who already understand how the tower works. Maybe I'm just competitive. You should feel guilty. That's how you should feel. Avoiding the question. I'm just upset that everyone's gonna try and help her because she's important to Bomb and they don't even know what she did to him. I would also like to know this because I was like, a whole thing that I went through was saying that I think that the stars are symbolic of freedom and stuff like that. But maybe it's symbolic of like being special, like seeing something that no one else had seen. You know, the whole like reach for the stars, or even like calling someone a star is when they're like really famous and influential and stuff like that. So it might have more to do with that symbolism. And like stars, you know, like the sun, everything in our galaxy revolves around the sun, which is a star. And I feel like that's kind of what Rachel wants. She wants to be that important, the center, but also she wasn't willing to risk her life in the first little test with Hedon to do that. So like really, what's motivating you? It can't be that important to you, right? Like Bomb was willing to risk his life to save her, but she wasn't willing to risk her life to get to the stars. So just feels like an empty comparison. Maybe she doesn't even know. Maybe she's just been like, that's something for her to focus on to like motivate her and pull her forward. And like, she's just relying on it because the alternative is like being lost and not having a direction and not having some kind of like grand goal to justify what she even wants, what she's looking for. Afraid of the night. Ooh, I like when we get language notes. So Bomb also means night in Korean. I thought Bomb meant like chestnut, but I like that there's I'm afraid of the night, being afraid of Bomb, kind of the things that lurk in the dark. Interesting. Because I feel like Rachel knows more about why Bomb was locked up and isolated and everything than she's letting on. Because there's got to be a story there. And there's no way that something doesn't happen that would result in someone getting locked up like that without like everyone finding out about it within like a certain radius of it. And the fact that she was chosen in some way to go and interact with him, talk to him, befriend him, I feel like she has to know who he is, what he's capable of. And like, just because he lost his memories and he doesn't know how to use his abilities, powers, stuff like that now, doesn't mean that he didn't know before he lost his memories. So he could have used them to do stuff, and I feel like that would get around. Ooh, ooh, this looks like a great comparison with the water where we had like the fish going around, but they're dark now instead of like points of light. You should feel like you're stuck in some deep dark part of the ocean. But I hope we cut to Bomb. I really want to know what's going on with him. I need him to be okay. I don't know how I feel about the Grin though. Ooh, is she going to find Bomb? I like meet Bomb who lost his star, which is interesting. Then you have like the North Star, which is like your direction, the thing that you like go towards, at least in the Northern Hemisphere. You have like the Northern Star to like help you navigate and stuff, which I very much feel like is what Rachel was to Bomb. And now he doesn't have her anymore, which I feel like is going to cause a lot of issues for him. Not that he doesn't have other people to support him, but Rachel was like a very significant pillar to keeping his foundation steady, and now it's just completely been pulled out from under him. So I don't know. Oh, we're gonna end the chapter, aren't we? I just need to know what happens to Bomb. I hope that that's what happens because it looks like that's where we're going. So next chapter. Chapter 78. We've come a long way for this, and I'm stalling a little bit because I realized that we're here and I'm a little bit nervous. Strange Light, are we gathered with the regulars? Oh, we had an outfit change. Lorraine, asleep as usual. Do we have Chibi Rock again? What, did Hong Sung just get angry at him for something and he has to be Chibi now? I do love Chibi Rock though. So this is who we have going to the next floor, which will have its own issues, I'm sure. I like how Kun's just like, yeah, I'm gonna come after you. Which, I mean, fair enough. A ring? Multiple rings? Is it like the cube? Or is it like a pass thing? So like you show the ring and it's like, oh, you're allowed to be on this floor. Or is it something else? I feel like coming from Hong Sung, there could be lots of layers of it being like nefarious. Is it a way to track them? They already have the cubes though. Maybe some other reason to have the ring? I'm very suspicious. Do you hope it'll be full of blessings? I don't believe you. But I guess they get to move on. How is Bomb gonna catch up to them though? I mean, he's figured it out before, but I'm just very confident that he's gonna be okay. I'm just waiting for the moment. Is the Roro being outraged? He did have a soft spot for Bomb and Kun. I understand why Lororo would be like, hold up. I don't know if going after Hong Sung is a good idea. What is the house? Ooh, is it his pin? Quit. Wait, you can't actually quit though. Didn't we talk about this before? Where it was like, you can't actually quit your job in the tower. It's like, I don't know, someone being like fired really means that they have been eliminated in some way. Lororo, I don't think you can just walk out. I don't think that is, I don't know, can they put him on another floor? Wouldn't that be risky because he knows stuff about how Evankel's floor works? I'm assuming Evankel wouldn't want Lororo working on other floors and being able to talk about stuff. I feel like this is a bad idea. I like how Kwan's just like rage. I feel like that's not what Hong Sung is going for. Wait, what about Kwant? Oh no. Did Kwant get fired too? Oh no. Why do I feel like there's lots of layers to that decision? I feel like Hong Sung has a plan. Why wouldn't he want them there? Is he gonna let them go? I have many questions and I don't think this is gonna work out well for either of them. I feel bad for Gwant though, that just kind of got swept up in it. It's weird to see them in different outfits though. I'm used to them being in the like same outfit for teaching and stuff. I like how Gwant's like, take care of me, and Lororo's like, please don't follow me. I feel like Lororo is definitely following Kun, at least. Maybe he knows what's going on with Bomb. Wasn't he the one that told them that Bomb was definitely dead? Maybe he knows something else about that. But also, he has some kind of deal with Kun, so I feel like that is probably part of what's going on. Kun probably knows some more about what's going on than I do, than most people do. I like how Quanta's like, I want to not be where you are. Oh, we're going to the 77th floor. Wasn't that where Bomb is supposed to eventually end up with the pin? Is it a forbidden place? I feel like it would be because he's an irregular. Or they're an irregular. I feel like I can't assume gender anymore because sometimes the translation is wrong. What kind of truth? I don't know. The truth, sometimes ignorance is bliss. Maybe not in this context, but sometimes it's better not to know. I feel like Quanta's definitely gonna follow. I like how Quanta's like, I'm not gonna go to the floor, but like I'll walk you close to it. Like not because I care about you or anything, and like not because I'm gonna help you out, but like I'll walk with you. I'm like, yeah, Quanta's definitely gonna be part of this. I feel like it's all part of a plan. Are we talking to Evankel? Ooh, that though, where it's like the Jihad family is gonna think that Bomb is dead. Why do we want them to believe that? Do we not want Jihad to have Bomb or kill him? Is there another motive for wanting Bomb alive? I feel like they would be better off if Bomb wasn't alive on account of being irregular and super powerful and stuff like that. I'm gonna be thinking about that for a while. I'm like, there's no way that Hong Sung doesn't know exactly where Bomb is and what's going on. Hong Sung knows all on the floor. At least we found him though. I'm so happy that he's like alive again. I was like, he's probably gonna be alive at the end of this. In what state? I don't know. But I like that we get to see him. I feel like he's going through a lot of emotional stuff though. Ooh, I don't like the look in his eye though. I don't know if I want to see Bomb angry, like legitimately angry. Because I like when he's like just worried that he's inconveniencing people and he's just a sweetheart. But I feel like Rachel's the first person to like legitimately really hurt him, and I mean, at least that he remembers. And I feel like that is not going to end well for anyone involved. Again, Kuhn's gonna find out eventually. That's like what I'm waiting for. I'm like, Kuhn is gonna find out, and I kind of want to watch him just go off the rails. Not that I want to be anywhere near it, but I feel like I would get some kind of therapeutic joy. Ooh, I like how we're getting the, again, kind of parallels between like Bomb and Rachel's story. We had Rachel being really desperate, asking why, and kind of not knowing how to deal with the emotions that she was feeling of like not being special, not getting this thing that she had dreamed so much about, and being so desperate. And then we have Bomb here, same kind of thing. He knew so clearly what he wanted, and now he can't have it, right? His one motivation was to be with Rachel. That's all he wanted. He just wanted to be by Rachel's side and keep her safe, protect her. And now she has very clearly shown that she doesn't want him around at all. She's betrayed him, she's tried to kill him, she has moved on believing that he's dead, so he doesn't have the thing that was motivating him anymore. So it's like the same kind of reversal with the two of them, of Bomb just like, he doesn't have a direction anymore. He doesn't have that northern star to help him, guide him, and that kind of a thing. So he's a little bit more beat up than Rachel was. He's also on the ground, which I feel like is also symbolic of like, he's literally the lowest he can get. I don't know why either. I mean, I kind of know why, but I know why she thinks she did it. I just don't agree. We're also only seeing his one eye, which I think is interesting. Did they want to make him angry? Was that part of it? They wanted him to feel betrayed and angry and have that fuel him to go up the tower? Is that part of the plan? To kind of push him to that point of desperation? Why though? To evaluate his power? I'm trying to like figure out all the pieces. Another hand he has to accept to like get up though. Isn't his hand still wrecked from trying to punch the bull? At least he has a guide though. That's gonna help him, you know, follow the rest of the team. They're probably gonna have to keep him a secret though, because of the whole, we want the Jihad family to believe that Bomb is dead. I'm very interested in where they're gonna go. Like, are they going to follow the rest of the tests, or are they gonna take a completely different route to avoid the other regulars? Ooh, that's terrifying. No, wait. That's it? That's all you're gonna give me? I don't know how to feel. I have a lot of bad feelings about what's gonna happen. And one of my things was, I was like, I'm waiting for Bomb to kind of have his explosion moment, if you will. I was assuming it was going to be like power, something physical, something about him interacting with his abilities and stuff like that. All of the Chosen One things. I didn't expect it to be emotional, which I find interesting, but also is kind of a quieter way of going about the chapter. Like, I feel like these last couple chapters were less action oriented, less plot heavy than some of the ones previously. And I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing, because it does feel like that quiet moment before the storm. And I feel like Bomb might be the storm, which I'm a little bit anxious about, to say the very least. I like that we got to see a lot of like how Rachel was processing through not getting what she's dreamed for, the thing that motivates her, and she seems kind of empty now after what she did to Bomb. Maybe I'm projecting because I want her to feel a little bit bad about it, but she does seem less animated. Part of that might be because she's supposed to be betraying some kind of grief. I think to some extent she is grieving because she saw a lot of what Bomb had. Remember the dream that she had where like Bomb was surrounded by people and she was all alone even though she had the stars. So I feel like there is some kind of realization that maybe this thing that she's been going after isn't actually what she wants, and she doesn't really know what's motivating her anymore. And she says like, I'm scared of the night, which is interesting with the connection to Bomb's name. But I don't know if it's, but she's also like seen Bomb as like a sweet, caring person. So there's like the part of Bomb that she's scared of, and then there's the part of him that I think she legitimately sees as a good person. We know that Bomb is very good at winning people over. So I feel like she's struggling with what exactly she actually wants, but she's resigned herself to the fact that she's made a deal and she's chosen a path, and she probably can't get out of it because she's making deals with pretty powerful people, and they're probably not going to just let her back out of that. And she believes that she's killed Bomb. So maybe she knows more about what is going on with the plan. We didn't actually hear what the deal was, so maybe it was just to make people believe that Bomb was dead. I don't know, because I don't know if like Heaton and Hung Sung are working together on this or against each other. Probably against each other in some way, but I don't know if they're like coordinating and talking to each other. So like she's believed that she's killed Bomb. She's kind of past the point of no return. So I think she's kind of staying on that path because she doesn't see that she has another choice. Whereas like Bomb is like going through the process of realizing what is going on and what happens when you don't have the direction that has been fueling you. Like his whole life that he can remember, it's always been Rachel. Rachel has been such a central thing. I was talking about how Rachel wanted to be the sun because the sun is like the center and everything revolves around it. She wants to be that so badly, but she was that for Bam. That was who she was. Everything about who Bam was revolved around Rachel. And now he doesn't have that. And he's gonna have to try and process through that. We see a lot of anger. We see a lot of confusion and desperation because it's so hard to not have a direction that you're like working towards, and having something that motivates you so strongly just like ripped away from you, and now you have to find a way of functioning again. So I think Bam might be the big scary of like the season. I kind of like, you know, I was talking about like a jokingly saying like a villain origin story on Rachel's part, but it kind of is for Bam too. He has the potential to be one of the scary irregulars and to let this affect him in a very negative way. Whether or not he will, we're gonna have to wait and see, but it's a very like ominous point to end on. And we had a lot of dark imagery of things happening at night, happening in darker places, a lot of dark imagery in general, which I find actually really interesting. Thinking back to the beginning of being on Evan Kell's floor, there was a lot of light, there was a lot of brightness, color, you know, we had tons of all of that happening, and now there's a lot of darkness, and there's a lot of darker light and coloring, and people shown in more isolation, you know, people being those points of light surrounded by a bunch of darkness. So even that is very contrastive in how the season has been going, how the adventures of the tower have been going, from this kind of bright and exciting and new environment as they go into the tower, and it's kind of like an adventure, and then now it's kind of the reality of what they're in and how they're going to change and adapt to it. So I feel a lot of things getting to the end of that season, because it almost feels like a prequel. It feels like going through a bunch of stuff to kind of set up a far bigger epic, which I know that there's a bunch more chapters. So we'll have to wait and see where we end up with season 2, which I am more apprehensive about than I thought I would be. I thought I would just be like upset, maybe sad at the end of season 1. I didn't think that I would have this much anxiety about season 2. Yeah, there are a lot of chapters, so we have lots of time to get into some of the other stuff. Yes, we're gonna get into some of the blog posts and other stuff before getting into season 2, so we'll have to go through some of that. But you can click this playlist to go and see my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so you miss the next time I post a Tower of God reaction, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!